Hey Leo, so I'm Leona Nicole Black, and this is your general tarot reading for April 2018. Happy spring equinox. It's Mercury retrograde, so my comms is a little weird at the moment. We're just gonna flow with it. So, because of Mercury retrograde, I will not be on screen today, and I haven't recorded the shuffle. I'm trying to keep my communications and my technology really simple and streamlined and get these videos out to you in a really reasonable amount of time. So I hope you're okay with that. So just as always, it's general reading, so aspects of it may or may not resonate. That's fine. If you would like a personal reading with me, then do you know what, Leo? It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I think that's why I can hear that my voice sounds a bit muted. But don't worry, once we get into the flow, energy starts coming through me, will be fine. I'm just very tired. You're the last reading I'm going to do for tonight. Okay, so if you would like a personal reading, it's nicoleblack.com/services. And also, I'm really appreciating your comments, your likes, your subscribes, particularly the comments. I read all of them. Thank you for sharing these videos as well with people who you think it will connect with. And yeah, if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, that's my favorite social media site, then I'm Leona Nicole Black on there and we can connect. Let's get into your reading, my loves. It's really interesting. So first and foremost, as you know, I'm doing a new spread, which is more about your spiritual growth. And the first cards I always pull is like, how are you showing up this month? What's your character? Who are you? And you got three major arcanas. You've got the Justice card in reverse, the World in reverse, and the Magician in reverse. And I was like, wow. You got no of the minor cards, no court cards, no nothing. And what I saw or felt from that is that you are not showing up this month in some ways. Like, I think this is a very significant message in that I feel that you are being heavily parented right now by spirit, by God, and you are not showing up because you're in a significant growth cycle that is requiring you to grow up. And I don't mean that to sound too harsh, but I counted the number of major arcanas in your reading, and there's 8. And 8 is also the number that symbolizes karma. And there is a growth cycle that you're going through at the moment, and it's fairly intense. I think Leos are a little not necessarily very happy at the moment, and if I'm going to be honest with you, it's not over yet. Okay, because I saw your cards for a preview into the month ahead, and there's still some challenges. But let's just talk about it, Leo. You're okay. As a Virgo, Earth signs had it really hard last year, so I feel like I can empathize with you, and it's okay. Look at your cards. There's nothing too frightening. There's nothing. Well, tarot's not ever supposed to be frightening, but there's nothing too alarming here. There's nothing too destructive or nothing for you to be afraid of. It's just that you're being stretched. So okay, the World, the Justice, and the Magician cards. Let me put them in the middle of the screen. I don't feel like holding them, but I'm going to put them where you can also see them while I speak. And for you, they'll be upright, these 3 cards here, but they're in reverse in the way that I pulled them. So, okay, this is about the leveling up, Leo. This World card here is about the loop that you're going through. It's about ending one cycle and beginning another. Remember that the major arcana represents the Fool's journey. It begins with the Fool and it ends at the World. And so this is signifying that Spirit is saying to you, I am taking you through the Fool's journey. Really interestingly as well, speaking to this push to make you grow up, you got all of the pages, all 4 pages came up in your reading, and that doesn't necessarily, or it doesn't happen in my readings very often at all. So it's saying that you are at this kind of like novice level or needing to grow up in all these several different areas, and this is why your energy right now is pushing you. It's saying, come through this portal, come through the world. There is a world of the Sun card waiting for you. There's a world out there, but you have to make the journey towards it. I'm going to show you what the cards are saying. You're balancing some things out now, Leo. You know, you're balancing out, I think internally, you're balancing out these aspects of yourself, these different parts of your personality. And you're balancing out your relationships with others particularly. I think things have been off kilter for a while, and now it's like the sword of justice has come down and said enough. Like, that's it. You're not going to continue. Look down here, four of wands in reverse down here. You're not going to be able to keep this family unit or this relationship or this marriage or this I was going to say business. Doesn't really feel like that. It feels like something much more close to your heart in terms of like what gives you emotional satisfaction, comfort, and safety. And things have not been right there, and you haven't, Leo. I'm afraid to say that I feel like from the readings I've been doing for you for the last few months, you just haven't been able to take that step towards rectifying it, and now karmically it has to happen. It's like you didn't do it, so spirit will. And so here's the Magician card, and this is also about no more creating, no more doing things based on whim and illusion. You know, the Magician card is obviously about manifestation, but also about the illusion of things. The magician is doing tricks, it's diverting your eyes, it's, you know, puffs of smoke, it's all of this. And that's what you're with the Seven of Swords here. That's what your energy has been a lot about, Leo. It's been about smoke and mirrors somewhat, not really showing up and facing the truth of your situation. It's creating things through the mist, you know, knowing that your home situation or your relationship situation or your family situation is a bit, you know, off kilter, and still going out into the world and doing things. And spirit is like, enough is enough. Like, I'm requiring you to get to grips with your foundations now. So that's how you're showing up this month. Like, real lessons. 3 major arcanas, guys. Wow. Okay. So I asked Spirit, what was the context for this? I'm trying to see if I can pull this down a bit so that you can see the cards. Can I do that? Nah, that doesn't work. Okay. I was just trying to make sure you could see the cards a little more clearly so I didn't have to hold all of them the entire time. Hopefully that's clear enough. You can see most of that picture. Oh, okay. Sorry. What's also really interesting to me is that obviously I've been doing different readings for the different zodiac signs, and you have an equilibrium of, like, look at this square. If you look at any of my other readings, my layouts don't look like this, you know. So the top layer is like what's going on. This is what your spiritual lessons are. These are your advice cards. And I might pull, like, I don't know, 3 advice cards and, you know, 6 here. And there's no specific number. I pull according to what my intuition tells me. But you got the same number of cards, okay? 5, 5, 5. 3 times 5 being 15 boils down to a 6 in numerology, which is about harmony and balance. So you're being taught the Libra card, the Libra justice energy, the harmony, the balancing of the scales. And you're being asked to deal with the foundations in this form of a square or rectangle, really, but a square here. Okay. So, Leo, first card for you, in terms of what's going on with you, absolutely. Endings are happening for you right now. Endings in relationships, endings in projects. I don't feel like it's work in terms of like, and leaving a job, and it can be for some of you, but I really feel like it's actually like specific projects wrapping up and maybe new ones opening as a result of that. But there are endings in your life, like endings in how you see yourself, like maybe even feeling like a certain version of you, a chapter of you has come to a close in some way. Endings, but positively here, the Sun cards, there are new beginnings. The ending is like the energy of regeneration for you. There is hopefulness. Remember, the Sun is also your ruler, so it is actually also your parent in the sense of growing you up. This is about you aging up, leveling up, going on to brighter opportunities, connecting with your joy. Okay, this is also the Page of Wands, so you're setting out on the journey. This is about communicating your truth now, Libra, but I'm sorry, Leo. Communicating your truth, but not from the perspective of the Swords card. It's not a mental truth. It's more a truth of intention, a truth of your path, a truth of what you want to do with your life. And this really is a beginning card, a new journey, mostly because something's ended for you. And for some of you specifically, it's a relationship. But others like take this to be whatever foundation was really important to you on an inner level, on an emotional level, in terms of like what made you feel secure in your life. I feel like that's come unstuck in some way, and so you have had to make a decision to venture off in a new direction to find the sun. But as you're moving forward on this journey, who you run into here is the Hierophant, the High Priest card. And this is about gaining wisdom now, Leo. This is about not just doing the magician energy of, ooh, let me show you a trick. Let me show you a manifestation trick. Let me show you what I can do. Let me show you how brilliant I am. Let me show you how good I can make this look. Look at the spectacle. Wow, 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 wow. But actually, it's all a mirage in some ways, you know. If this is what's underneath it, if that's what's underneath, then there's some untruth to what you're doing. There's some untruth to the picture of your life that you've been representing. You know, you're showing the sun, but really you're experiencing the death. And this is what this is about. This is maturing. This is integrating these two energies. The sun and the death card is recognizing that these two can exist at once, at the same time, within one person. It's just like we see these two pillars here. Think of these as pillars of truth, of endings, of new beginnings and new opportunities together, of the knowledge that we get from the darkness, from the shadow in the form of the death card, and the knowledge that we get from the light in the form of the sun. Both of these things. So some of you Leos, this is about you actually finding in your life some spiritual guidance. So you may have been like, maybe not really indulging too far in the spiritual. Some of you have been, but for some of you, not too this can represent like coming away from more traditional religion, I feel, in this. So like maybe not Christianity or Islam or Buddhism or whatever the more organized religions are. Like you've been away from this for a while, but some of you may now be returning in some ways, or contemplating like reintegrating some of those principles and practices into your life. But for some of you, this is seeking counsel. So this could actually be not necessarily a priest, but it could be a therapist, a doctor, whoever, like someone who you value their wisdom and trying to learn from them, because you recognize that there is a learning now, and the learning is about this King of Wands. It's about you going from the Page of Wands, setting out on the road, being honest, putting your true intentions out there, and leveling up and maturing to become this true energy, which is your energy, King of Wands. But the King of Wands is now an accomplished and mastered energy, you know, like this is you. This is a really good way for you to show up in the world. But you recognize that you need the help and the support of someone external, or if you don't recognize this, you need to. So this is the five of sorry, not five of anything, it's a 5 card, is in the major arcana 5. 5 is the energy of change, Leo. So there are some changes that need to be made for you, and you need assistance in making them. Recognize. So what are the spiritual lessons for you? Well, of course, it's temperance and balance in reverse here. This is about you feeling and addressing what's been out of balance, which is what is not harmonized, the parts of you that have been disparate, whatever you've been compensating for and ignoring. Now, Spirit is like, it's time, Leo, to recognize that you have to achieve this. You have to. This is a requirement of you. It's getting out of the secret bondage, Leo. With the 8 of Swords here, this is about you feeling trapped on a mental level, not sure which direction to go in. Just a little like, oh, feel blocked, you know, like, yeah, I'm doing all of this out here, but internally I feel like this, you know, I'm unsure about where I'm going. I'm bluffing, or I'm just kind of making it up as I go along. And it's about you dropping the illusion now. Dropping the illusion, being honest now, Leo, about how you really feel, even if that's stuck, afraid, trapped, blocked, stressed, anxious, or depressed, whatever it is, whatever particular energy that's leading you towards the High Priest, you need to be honest about that. Here in the Page of form of the Page of Cups, because this, sorry, Page of Pentacles, Cups is here, but Page of Pentacles, because this is you setting out on the journey of like now putting the work in. And remember, this is a page, so it's a young, like starting out. This is also, remember, all the pages are messengers. They're all giving a communication of some time. So some of these cards are about you giving your message out in the world. Others are about you receiving a message. With the Page of Pentacles, this is about you now setting out on the journey where you're willing to do the real work, the true work of growth and development, and the true work of like building yourself, you know. And establishing things based on authenticity is what I feel. You know, the earth signs are very, Virgo, Taurus and Capricorn are very grounded and don't like illusions and games so much. They like things to be very apparent. They want to take things at face value, and this is what this is for you. This is about you showing up at the world, in the world, and being like, actually, this is the only pentacle I have right now, and that's okay. Like, I actually really like it. I have time to invest in this thing. Like, this is enough. Like, this is all that I want to focus my energy on. And what happens, Leo, is as you come out in the world honestly and say, actually, this is my only pentacle, this other stuff is going on. I've had a split of some kind, a breakup, a loss of some kind. Something has departed from my life. I felt stuck and down about it. I am actually making an effort here to move forward, however. Sorry, I was looking at, I was reading your, the Virgo in me caught the other axis of this reading, which is reading the cards down in this direction, which I'll do in a little while. But yes, as you're going out in the world and saying, well, as a result of this is what I have, and I feel like I want to start again in these particular ways, and I want to be honest about who I am and what my interests and my passions and my ambitions are, my true feelings, then people are going to match that with you. Look at these two, they're looking at each other. This is not your energy, this is someone else. Page of Cups, this is people coming to you and saying, do you know what? Now that I see you as you really are, now that you're not doing this, now that you're shining the Sun card in your truth and showing up as you really are in the world, I kind of like it. I understand you. This makes sense to me. I want to support you. I want to help you with that. Why don't you come over? Let's go away together. Let's go on holiday. Oh, I'll help you with that project. You know, it is that. It is you attracting this kind of love and compassion and this genuineness from people based on your own. And here is the Seven of Swords. And I feel like this is like a bookend, a stop. It's like, this is the energy you've been doing for a while. I'll just show you the card upright. This is you on a mental level, kind of avoiding some of the problems and literally like kind of meandering, navigating, going here, going here, evasion through the energy of the Magician here. And it's like Spirit has said, you're not doing this anymore. And I'm telling you, like, this is it. Like, if you skip any of this, this is where you will stop. You will not be allowed to pass go, basically. Like, go to, you know, Monopoly, like, you must go straight to go, don't pick up 200 or whatever it is. It's like, yeah, this is it now. You will not be able to progress beyond this point. You'll be kept here. So it's important that you do these in-between steps so you can surpass this energy and outgrow this. This is very immature. Okay. So, moving upwards, Leo. Or downwards, really, but I'm moving the cards a bit so I can focus on the others so you can see them. Okay. So down the bottom here then, we have, as I've talked about already, the Four of Wands. So this is advice for you. And the advice here really, Leo, is that you can't just stop trying to make this work now. And I don't mean, for some of you, this doesn't mean that it's over forever. Whatever the situation is, it doesn't mean that it's lost and gone. Remember, the Death is also a renewal, a rebirth card, okay? This is about things ending and almost taking a new cycle. I often talk about plants, and the way if you plant something, a seed, the seed has to crack open and die in order for the green shoot to come out of it, the real essence of what it is. So for some of you, something is ending to create, for the sun to burst forth and the truth of what the situation is. Others of you, it is actually just done. But ultimately, what I'm saying is, don't stop trying to hold it together. Spirit is allowing it to end for a reason, and you emotionally need to go on that journey away from it in pursuit of your power in the form of the red cloak here. And not just this illusionary power, the red cloak of the Magician, but the power that is rooted in these energies here, particularly, which is the Page of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups. Go off now in pursuit, because you have the Two of Swords here, and I feel like it's saying like you're in this duality where I feel like you're trying to decide whether you do show up in the world authentically, whether you do start over, or you try to cling to what's been in the past. And Spirit is saying like you cannot hold both of these together. You have to choose one, and only one of them lets you progress and level up. And so I see here with the Page of Swords, like you have been reluctant. It's the one page card that you have, that's in reverse. So the Page of Swords is about honest communication, and it can be a little tactless because the Page of Swords cares more about expressing than getting it right, getting the expression itself right. You know, clear communication and saying things the right way is a very Virgo energy. But this is an air sign energy, you know, so this is more Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. So it's like, okay, let's just say what needs to be said. And in reverse, you need to speak your truth now. You really need to show up and speak your truth, even if you feel ill-equipped, you don't have all the facts, you're afraid of judgment. It's just time to be authentic, Leo. That's what's being required of you more than anything. That's why I said it's not that tough a reading, because if you can just show up as yourself, everything gets lighter for you. Because here is the Emperor card here, and it's saying, like, come on. This is the end goal for you now. This is your sibling in the form of another fire sign, the Aries card here, and it's saying, like, grow up, show up as this leader now. You know, you can't be the Leo kid. I often say as a Virgo that your sign is before man, and I often feel like Leo is the younger sibling to Virgo. And this message of me being a Virgo is saying that Spirit is saying it's time, teenage years are over, it's time for you to take your position on the throne. Imagine it, think of it like this. And don't take this the wrong way, because I mean it in an abstract term, but just think in the succession of the throne. Let's say the Virgo older sibling passed away, or the Aries has passed away, and the throne is being handed to you, and it's time for you to step up. It's time for you to step up in your life in general. And so for you to get from your ultimate potential, which is the King of Wands here, I'm going to have to move this back down again so you can get a better sense of what I'm doing. In order for you to move from your ultimate potential, which is the King of Wands, you have to overcome this tendency of avoidance so that you can level up into the Emperor. And seeking help right now in the form of the Hierophant will be well received. You will get loving support that will allow you to communicate. So with the Page of Swords in reverse, some of you actually need to have counseling and therapy. You need a talking tool, or you need to speak to friends. You need to speak out loud. Instead of having these two swords down here of split and duality, drop them both and pick up the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Wands, which is being clear in your communication, taking your ambitions, your will and your intention into the world and putting hard work behind it. Know here, Leo, that with the Sun here, there are new opportunities. There is a horizon coming for you, that you can release your bondage and go in pursuit of what is next in this cycle. And as I said, the cycle is not ending, it's only regenerating itself. It's requiring you to find balance. And when you have that balance, then you will be able to genuinely rebalance this, which you can't right now because you've been trying to do it through the energy of the magician, which is through illusion. You know, I keep talking to you in your previous readings about how you can't just romance your way out of situations or be fun or playful about it. But Spirit's like, if you can internally find balance, that balance will be reflected in your external relationships. So Leo, I just want to show you your final cards, which are previews of the energy of May. Okay? So you have the Moon, the Five of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands in reverse, and the King of Cups in reverse. So this is showing me that you're still in a healing process, okay? Like the Moon is about the secrets now. This also speaks to me of you understanding yourself better, you getting clearer of your emotional world, you addressing things, you dealing with the shadow. This is you confronting the truth of what this actually feels like. So I want to find that card. What did I just do with it? See, the Seven of Swords here is what you tend to do, but if you can stop evading, then it will give you time to address that this is what leaving and walking away from these two swords, this is what the true path away feels like to you, and it feels difficult and lonely and cold and impoverished, and you have some old wounds to heal here. And all this will be coming up for you next month. But it's all good because out of this, you are leveling up and you achieve the status of King of Cups, which is emotional groundedness. And this is really important. And I think this is what people want to see you do, Lilith. I'm going to be honest, but this kind of emotional stability, this emotional availability, dependency, all of that, this is what you can achieve next month, or you can at least begin to actualize this in your life when you deal with these challenges, the deep emotions of the Moon card, the loss and the feeling like out in the cold as like your foundations have collapsed, and any wounds that have arisen from that. If you can really look closely rather than doing this avoidance, you can emerge as the King of Cups. If you like a personal reading, Leo, it's NicoleBlack.com/services. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed doing this reading for you, and I hope these messages really support you this month. Ashe, I love you. Mwah.